Now, it's no secret that I, along with a lot of the Anitube community, tend to view the newbies into our medium of choice with a certain level of disdain. Some think of them as easy to please, others more of a casual kind of viewer. I, for one, think of them like my girlfriend describes herself in the 3rd grade. 8 years old, easily distracted by flashing lights, and literally thinks garbage dumps are the coolest thing ever. Now, you might be able to understand my trepidation about the newest entry into Netflix's catalog of anime-related media, the Fullmetal Alchemist live-action movie. People are going to see this and say, oh yeah, my friend John, who likes anime, said Fullmetal Alchemist is good, let's check it out, and be thoroughly unimpressed by it. Or impressed. I don't know. I had friends say they liked the live-action Death Note movie. They were wrong. This is an absurdly specific scenario, but this is only one problem out of the many that I know people will find with a live-action FMA. First off, let's talk about pacing, and by pacing, we're talking about a salaryman very anxiously trying to find a bathroom in an airport. He's got 2 hours to board, and there's moving sidewalks everywhere. He's running around and occasionally stands completely still, spins a little bit, and does a little dance, and then speeds off in another direction entirely. That's not to say that the plot isn't straightforward. It is. It's FMA. If you have watched FMA, you have seen this movie. You have actually seen a better version of this movie. I say this mainly because the live-action version only takes 2 hours to sit through, but somehow feels longer than the original series in its entirety. It's a miracle, really. Now, characters are obviously something I'm gonna have to talk about because it's such a staple of FMA's original plot. The characters are well written, engage with each other well, and this guy's the best one. Except he's not in this movie, and because of the shorter running time, Mustang's just there to be cool. Tucker's still an asshole, but just in a shorter amount of time. Hughes is actually still just the best character, but Al is just a suit of armor with a kid's voice inside it, and Ed, Jesus Christ, Ed just feels whiny. Because of his long search for the stone in the show, it's genuinely heartbreaking when they run into a dead end, but in the movie, it's like every time they found a fake or a dead lead, he just breaks down and gets pissed. Wah, wah, baby, wah. Did I mention that Armstrong wasn't in this? Also, the homunculi, they were a thing. They were there. Lust is pretty alright. Envy was there. Gluttony was actually an abomination in both the literal sense of the term and the metaphorical. Okay, moving on. Plot. The plot. It's FMA light. There's a bunch of events and elements from the show, and it's all wrapped into a 2-hour runtime. You would think this makes it a non-stop action fest, but actually no. No. I mentioned the pacing, but this mishmash of already written plot is like burnt mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes are meant to be lightly heated on the stove with a bit of butter and gravy, just enough so that they're hot, but by themselves you should be able to eat them cold and they're still good. How the fuck do you burn mashed potatoes? They're already good. Let's talk about something else now. How about the atmosphere? Sure, atmosphere. We're on the goddamn moon. On one hand, the opening sequence and backstory are beautifully shot and executed, and then they're in the room. I'm sorry, just a room. Or on a street. Or in a room again. Doesn't really feel like I'm here. Yes, the State Alchemist logo is on the wall, but I know it's not real. I can't suspend my disbelief here. There's a good half hour of this movie probably shot in the same goddamn house and meant to be over 4 locations, but because there's no exterior establishing shots, for a lot of them it feels like I'm in the same house the whole time. They're just like, we're going here, and then they're there. It's very jarring. On that note, let's talk about something else that pissed me off atmospherically. The soundtrack. It has its moments. Stuff like the hurdy-gurdy or ethnic horn sound, whatever it is that they use in the opening sequence, are great examples of adding an extra kick to the soundtrack, but it sounds too lighthearted a lot of the time. In fact, I would hazard a guess at saying that they were trying too hard to emulate the sound of the original animated series. Like, perfect example, they have comedic xylophone hits. If you're an accomplished enough composer and you're using xylophone hits to punch a comedic note in a film in 2018, I swear to fucking God, I will come to your house. But hey, some of it is actually good and somber and right, but why not all of it? Why did they make this lighthearted in tone at all? There's no discrepancy here. Half your audience knows that shit's about to get real sad. Why even do it? The only one good thing that I can give this film is its graphics and CGI. There's a lot of shots and a lot of stuff that they do that comes across really, really well, except for this part. This part is a goddamn war crime. Okay, I'm rambling a little bit too much, but point is, this is a weird mishmash of plot elements from an excellent animated series that ultimately failed in a live-action setting. The gravitas of any of the characters' interaction was lost in the transcription to the big screen. And by the way, he's still not in this goddamn movie. Hey, by the way, did you know I stream to Twitch? Yes, I stream to Twitch now. We're doing a lot of fun things. Come by and check that out. I do apologize if I sound a little bit jaded or upset or pissed off. It's just that life has actually hit me pretty hard in the past couple of weeks, and I'm still trying to get over it, but I felt like translating this into rage would probably be a good idea. You could barely call this rage. This is kind of like more sarcastic anger. As always, if you do want to support me, you can help me out on the Patreon, or you can drop by one of the Twitch streams and throw a donation my way. That actually has been helping out a lot recently. As always, thanks guys. Bye-bye.